So guys, the Tinubu's government has continued with the Boko Haram repentance program despite the outcry coming from Nigerians. Like you can see this latest headline here, it says 117 repentant terrorists complete rehabilitation program, and Nigerians have been reacting to this news despite all the attacks we have seen in the recent times. You know, Tinubu's government has continued granting Boko Haram members repentance and rehabilitation like they claim, and this is coming just few days after information, after it was said that Boko Haram attacked 2 camps of the Nigerian military, 2 different camps. In one of those attacks, they killed 4 soldiers, and now they are still granting Boko Haram members pardon, rehabilitation. At the end of the day, they will give them money and all that. So guys, this is really wrong in a country where people are still living in the IDP camps because they are displaced by terrorists. The government is busy granting the same terrorists rehabilitation and pardon and mercy and all kinds of things. This strategy has not helped Nigeria in any way. When you consider the level of attacks Nigeria has suffered in the recent times, you can agree with me that this program is not helping Nigeria in any form. Now, I'm going to show you how this guy has reacted to it. This guy here said, to whom it may concern, just in case you are not aware, please read this. The Nigerian government has just released 117 repentant Boko Haram terrorists back into the society. No jail, no punishment, no prosecution, just a scam program. And these 117 wild animals are released back into the society to kill, kidnap, and murder Nigerians. Boko Haram terrorists and the APC are 2 sides of the same coins, working hand in hand. The animal in the government and the animal in the bush are one and the same. This is the legacy of the APC, the Al-Qaeda People's Congress. So guys, it's really, really heartbreaking to see that Tinubu will be granting a southern president who became president to end some of the things that we thought, okay, northern president cannot boldly do. See, it is even getting worse in the Tinubu's administration just because he wants northern votes. He's ready to dance to the tune of the northerners. How can you be releasing terrorists into the society and they keep killing your military men? Just about 1 week ago, Boko Haram attacked 2 military camps of the Nigerian military. They destroyed vehicles, they captured weapons, and if you go to the Twitter space on Brian Phillips' page and you see what Boko Haram did to the Nigerian military, you will not believe that in this same country the government is granting Boko Haram amnesty. The question remains, has our government been hypnotized? What is happening in the country? Now let me show you more insecurity related news, and this one here is bandit kill over 30 in fresh attack in Zamfara community. The same Zamfara, a soldier is said to have been killed last week there by terrorists, and now this headline here, it says terrorists rights Kebbi community demand 100 million naira. So guys, the Tinubu's government will never and never be able to fight insecurity where you keep pampering terrorists. In the southwest, they are granting amnesty to terrorists, and then in the north east they are granting them amnesty. Guys, this strategy is not going to work. So guys, let me quickly show you how some Nigerians have reacted to this headline of Tinubu's government releasing fresh 117 terrorist members back into the society. This person said, what's the sense behind these repentance programs? These people kill, maim, kidnap, and conduct mass murder of Nigerians, and our government is so daft to think they are now new people. There's nothing to deter intending terrorists since they can always claim repentance and get free ride. This is so sad. Another person here said, APC are the founder of Boko Haram. They use it to chase Jonathan out of power. All these terrorists work for the party, and they are doing their agreement by releasing them whenever they are caught. This person here says, this is understandably frustrating. Releasing 117 alleged terrorists without prosecution raises serious concern about justice and public safety. It's important to question such decision but also to separate verifiable fact from political accusation. If true, Nigeria deserves full transparency from government on how the program works and what safeguards are in place. And this person here said, yet Nnamdi Kanu was jailed for nothing. Igbos are too quiet in this country. Gumi has done more harm to his nation than Kanu, yet he is moving freely. That's because the government knows if they touch him, they will make this regime unbearable and ungovernable. We can't be civil to win against those that are barbaric. So guys, the problem we have in this country are the Fulani leaders, because if Tinubu, like this person said, if Tinubu goes hard on them, that they are really ready to make the government unbearable, that means Nigeria is finished. If we are scared to dare terrorists, because if you dare them, they'll make your government unbearable, then the country is finished. No wonder people are saying it's better to divide this country. Anyway guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now take a look.
I just told you here that the Nigerian government is complicit in this insecurity. The way they are treating the terrorists and the way they are talking with them shows that yes, they are partners in business. This latest order, how far can it go? The previous order, what effort, what did it bring to us? I can bet my last cover that the people doing all this is in Niger State are the same people that kidnapped those Catholic students and later released them. They are the same group of people within that vicinity, that Niger state. They are the same people operating. So if you do not take them down the first time, you do not take them down the second time, you do not even take them down the third time, is it this one now that you are going to, what are you going to do now that you have not done before? Well, you have brought the other previous one, what did you do? That's the question. These are just for the optics. It's not as if anybody is going to do anything. The bandits and terrorists are acting with impunity because they know that, yes, they have support somewhere. That's why they are not bothered. It is unfortunate that a region that is lacking behind in education is suffering this type of menace, and they are treating it with kid glove. If you want to open school in areas that are not under attack, of what use is it? Are they not supposed to be following a syllabus? So the syllabus will be running in another part of the state, while in the other one they are at home. Let them stop this thing, for God's sake. It is stoppable. This insecurity, it is stoppable, for God's sake. If they can bring sincerity of purpose, I don't see how terrorists can defeat the whole Nigeria. But because of insecurity, the very people who claim that they are fighting insecurity are the ones helping the terrorists, are the ones in bed with them, are the ones collaborating with them. They are the ones, giving them all the privileges that they want. So how can you say you are fighting insecurity? When you are giving them money for every kidnap, why wouldn't they continue to fester? In Niger State alone, between last week and now, is over 3, adoptions. 3. And then killings. So how can you tell me that people are serious over this matter? They have reduced Nigeria to nothing. In fact, Nigeria is worthless from the look of things, where terrorists are now dictating to government what they want and what they do not want. And government officials are pampering them, engaging them in phone calls, discussing with them and all that. It's so sad, seriously. I never thought that this would get this bad under APC. Government is not telling us the truth about this matter. Whenever they want to appease the public, they will issue a statement that they kill 200 of them. Meanwhile, we cannot say anybody. Nobody backs. They just say it. So on what ground will I now believe them? Is it not on record that the ones they managed to overpower, the one that as security agents managed to overpower, within weeks, they are rehabilitated back into the military, into civilian lives and all that. They are being pampered. They sew uniforms to them and all that. Is that not on record? Or is that one too a propaganda? So when you keep treating them like that, on what ground will I now support you that yes, you want to actually exterminate them? Is that not why more and more are coming into Nigeria? One terrorist group after another, they just walk into Nigeria and they open shop, establish their business and start operating. How many of them are operating here now? That is, let me just be generous with the number. At least 7 terrorist organizations operating on Nigerian soil now. What does that tell you? How did they come in here? Is it not government and their policy that open our border and say they should come in with $200? They will give them visa. So what exactly, what other evidence are you looking for to tell you that government is complicit in this matter? The way they are treating these people is more than enough to tell you that yes, they are working with them. So I'm not amused. I don't believe in what they are telling me. Until they do the needful, you and I will see, we will know that yeah, government is serious here. Donald Trump that came in, didn't you see? That is a man that is serious about something. He didn't waste time. He took action. Under 1 month of discussion, the man bombarded everywhere. And you are telling me that government is there. Let them come and meet me and tell me that story. Sheikh Gumi, who have been hobnobbing with the terrorists and all that, telling us, in fact, threatening the whole country. They banned him from coming into Saudi Arabia. But in Nigeria, the man is gallivanting all over the place, making statements. Nobody have arrested them. Nobody have said anything. Please, my dear, leave that thing. They know what they are doing. They know what they are. When they are serious, you and I will see it. The metaphor for this insecurity is Plateau and Benue, where foreign terrorists entered Nigeria, took parts of Benue and Plateau, sacked the villagers, and sent them into IDP camp, and they are occupying those villages. They renamed it, and they are living in people's home, ancestral home, as I talk to you now. Is that one false? Is it true or false? Tell me. Is it true or false? These are the people you swore to protect when you are taking your oath of office. Foreign terrorists, they came in here, took part of Nigeria and established their presence there. And you, the government, you don't even bother. You are not even, they have been there. It's getting to 10 years now. These people have been there. In another person's house. What kind of arrogance and impunity is that? And you call yourself a government, Abi? So you want to tell me that government is not aware? The Arnold, Michael Arnold, that American man that came here, he said he saw over 600,000 people in those IDP camps. Nigerian citizens. This is Benue that's supposed to be the food basket of Nigeria. Then the real farmers are in IDP camp. How do they farm? And then foreign terrorists, foreign. Because these people are not from Nigeria. If they are from Nigeria, they will not take over another person's home when their own house is there. That action alone will tell you that they are not from here. And you are telling me that government is what? Government is doing what? So they have not seen those people, Abi. They have not heard, Abi. What are those Benue people doing in IDP camp? Is that their home? Tell me, is that their home, IDP camp, in your own country?
Some terrorists are occupying part of Nigeria, in Sokoto and Plateau State, as I talk to you now. True or false? Did nnamdi take away any part of Nigeria and say this is Biafran land when he was agitating? Tell me. Some people are occupying Nigerian territory, Nigerian land, as I talk to you today. Who are those people? Did nnamdi go that far?
But Riley Moore, U.S. House member, was in Nigeria on a fact-finding mission, and he visited Benue and Plateau.
Yes.
And when he went back, he said he saw over 600.
Exactly.
Exactly. Internally displaced people.
Exactly.
Now, since he went back to the United States, do you think that it's also on the table that American government might say, look, Nigerian government, if you want to show sincerity, if you want to show intentionality in fighting this problem, these people must go back to their home.
Exactly.
No, I'm asking, do you think that...
It must. It's not a question of do you think. It must. Mr. Okoro, it must for Nigeria to get back on its tracks. Because you cannot have your citizens living in IDP camp and then you go to bed every night and sleep and wake up. And you swore to protect them. You don't even need US to tell you this. You don't need US. So, are they going to live in IDP camp forever? No, tell me, the people of Benue and Plateau, are they going to live in IDP camp forever?
Barrister, you seem to be missing my point.
What is the point?
My point is, at this moment, those people are still in IDP camp. My direct question is, do you think that at some point it will be on the table discussion between Nigerian government and US government?
I don't told you that, yes, it must. Do you need someone to tell you that? As a government, do you need someone to even tell you that? Let's be sincere here. These are your Nigerian citizens. And I ask you again, are they going to live in IDP camp forever? Would they go back to their home? Do you need anybody to tell you to go and do the needful?
More so when the people occupying their villages and their homes are foreign terrorists. Please, what they did, is this for the good of Nigeria or for the bad of Nigeria? Don't tell me. If the idea came from them, the federal government should congratulate them, because that is the national service they did. What the federal government could not do, IPOB members or DBOs invited Donald Trump to come and do it. So why are they not attacking Donald Trump? If what he came to do here was not in the interest of Nigeria, why should they not own up? In fact, they should be praising themselves that they have done a national duty for Nigeria. IPOB members, when they accuse you of being responsible for Donald Trump, beat your chest and say, yes, we thank God we did it. Yes, that is what they refuse to do. They now invited somebody who came to do it. And let me tell you, remember they have proscribed IPOB as a terrorist organization. So if actually they were terrorist organization, would Donald Trump have listened to them? All this is a shame on the federal government. A group they should recognize for who they are, what they represent. You are not demonizing them, vilifying them, but elsewhere, outside here, they are recognized. So if they accuse you that you are the one that brought Donald Trump, beat your chest and say, yes, we did it. And he came for the good of Nigeria.
Okay. All right.
Nnamdi Kanu was wrongly jailed. Seriously. His rights and everything was flagrantly disobeyed. The man who was so ebullient, who was so happy to go and kidnap Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, is now facing the same thing that he accused Nnamdi Kanu of. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine this poetic irony in life? You can see, whatever you sow, you reap. If somebody had told Malami that you go through this thing one day, he wouldn't have believed it. The very man who orchestrated Nnamdi Kanu's kidnap and all that, even when the court said he should go.
Ordinarily, insecurity represents the biggest threat to the citizen and the state. And you do not allow insecurity to grow and develop on the scale that it did. We have tolerated threats to the lives of citizens and their properties and the peace of this country for too long. Principally because I think the quality of leadership we have enjoyed since perhaps going back to 2007, 2008 has declined. If you don't have good leaders, they don't have the capacity to detect threats, they don't have the capacity to mobilize reactions against that threat, they don't have the capacity to think through and see whether the threat is actually a cause or a symptom of a problem. And so we've tolerated too many things, and when you tolerate a threat, it develops and it grows and it mutates and it becomes something else. It's not just the northern part of the country. Let me remind you that as far back as about maybe 12 years, 13 years, the southeast has been literally no man's territory. We have allowed the citizens there to live under all sorts of threats and intimidation. This stay-at-home thing has been in existence in the southeast for close to a decade. Where has been the Nigerian government? Look at the northern part of the country. The Umaru Yar'Adua ordered shoot at sight. In 2009, during the uprising, Muhammad Yusuf's people, days of rioting and killings in Maiduguri, the military asked the president to approve shoot at sight, and he did. And Muhammad Yusuf was arrested. He was the then leader of Boko Haram. He was arrested, interrogated by the military, arrested by the military, interrogated by the military. They got all the information they needed, handed him over to the police, which promptly just shot him. Videoed the shooting and shot him, and along with that, other people. His people ran away.
Extrajudicial killing, more or less.
His people ran away, went underground. Now you would think a leadership that is thinking would follow these people. Said, how come Muhammad Yusuf's people all disappeared? They went underground. Apparently they underwent more thorough training, more deeper indoctrination, and they became hardened, and they became armed. Until that time, they weren't armed. And they came back to Nigerian state to fight the Nigerian state. President Obasanjo and Senator Shehu Sani visited them on their own, obviously with, I'm sure, the knowledge and the support of President Johnson. They engaged some of the leaders of Boko Haram in Maiduguri. and they asked what they wanted in order to stop this. If my memory is correct, they gave them 4 conditions. Prosecute the people who shot our leader, Muhammad Yusuf, extrajudicially. And at that time, they had been arrested. They were here in Kuje, in Abuja. Everybody knew them. They were policemen. Rebuild the markets. That was his home in Maiduguri, which had been demolished and turned into a toilet in the middle of Maiduguri. Stop harassing our families, our wives and our children, and leave us alone. We just want to preach, and we don't want to fight. 4 conditions. The administration didn't believe that those were all these people were fighting for. Down the road, a year after, President Jonathan set up a huge committee, of which I was a member, called it the Presidential Committee on Dialogue with Boko Haram, and told us, go after these people, sit with them, and resolve this problem. Just think, one side in a conflict sets up his own team, sends that team to go and meet the enemy, and says, ask the enemy what they want, and solve this problem. For what it was worth, we went. Very powerful committee, and we spent a lot of time just trying to engage these people. Eventually, what we were able to establish from that were the same 4 things that they told President Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo, about 2 or 3 years later. Prosecute Muhammad Yusuf. As at the time that we were in that committee, these people were still in prison here. Rebuild the markers. The markers had not been rebuilt. Release our wives and children that you are detaining in police stations. As the time the committee was working. If you remember, between 2012, 13, 14, 15, were the high points. At all the bombings here in Abuja, all over the country. So you had a leadership with a very poor reading of the situation, quite possibly some level of corruption, because there were people who were making money from this. You had an ineffective appreciation of what the problem was. And it grew from Boko Haram. People saw an avenue. Nigerian state is weak. This is the Nigeria that would go to another people's country and solve their problem.
Sierra Leone,
Yes, we sent troops. We sent troops to those countries, put out their fire and come back. And yet you had a ragtag army that had transformed into a virtual real threat. It was taking over huge parts of Yobe, Borno, Adamawa, Taraba. And from then on, when you open the window, all sorts of threats come in. So, as I said, it's a combination of all 3. You have poor leadership. You have a state that has become so weak because corruption has eaten it up, including corruption that affects your fighting capacity. And the collapse of quality in the people who are leading Nigeria, both in the north and in the south, continued. As we speak today, if you ask a northerner who has some knowledge, who is the leader in the north? Who? In constitutional terms, they'll tell you it's the vice president, Kashim Shettima.
Yes.
But what does Kashim Shettima do under this administration? I respect the man a lot, but in effect, very little. Not just him. No vice president really does much, unless the president tells him. Quality of the north and the quality of leadership in the north has tremendously declined. Its social problems, economic problems have grown, and so naturally, because all these problems, emirs and chiefs and the clerics have been compromised by a very poor political process. The north has degenerated. And it's the same thing as I began by saying, it's not just the north. There are huge parts of Nigeria where this collapse is also virtual. In the southeast, I'm very familiar with, I have a lot of people and contacts in the southeast. Tragically, 2 key parts of this country, the north and the southeast, have gone under. And we have a leadership that still continues to behave as if tomorrow we'll wake up with a miracle, and the north has peace, and the southeast has peace, and we will live happily ever after. And it's the wrong way of thinking. Problems that are not attended to will grow.
Brilliant. Some have opined that if this spate of kidnappings and killings, massacres, call it whatever, if they were happening in Lagos or Abuja or both of them, that government's response would have been swifter, would have been more decisive, more proactive, even if you will. Is this correct? Because it would seem that of everything you said, corruption, yes, because quite a lot, people responsible who are meant to be putting out these issues are feeding fat from it. They're benefiting immensely from it. In fact, some school of thought say strategic people in the chain of putting out these fires, would rather want it to continue, unabated. So the question again, Doctor, is that because there's some sort of lukewarmness in the response of the federal government. What do you have to say to this?
I'm reluctant to attribute a sectional approach to this, to be honest with you, because My facts here are not very strong. But what I can tell you is that there is a relationship between control of the state, control of state resources, and peace or security in particular parts of the country. When you say this, people would say, but in that case, the North should not have had the problem. You had Eradua, then 2 years, then no, you had Jonathan in between, and then you had Buhari for 8 years. Buhari didn't govern this country at all. So when people say, but you had your own turn and Buhari was your president for 8 years, why didn't you put an end to Boko Haram and Lakurawa and the Mahmuda group that is now terrorizing Kwara and Niger State? The truth is, I think, is that generally, that's why I made the point. The quality of people who have governed this country has declined so badly. Between corruption and ineptitude, you had a leadership that has simply allowed the country to rot. I'm not sure that there's any part of this country which is not under one threat or the other. None, including Lagos. Lagos has its own social problems. I mean, there may not be people who are kidnapping, but Lagos, for all its wealth and everything, Lagos could be a much safer place. Ask people who live in Lagos. Ask them how they live. It's a very difficult place to live. So, economic development alone doesn't give you guarantees. You may be safe in your house, but you can't step out. The bottom line is, Nigeria is in a very serious crisis because we have not had kind of leaders who will try to understand the nature of the problems. They are multifaceted, there are different types of problems. Some are limited to particular areas, some are across the country. The biggest threat is corruption. When you eat out the heart of institutions, your defense and security institutions, your leadership is corrupt. The people you are trusting to defend you are either corrupt or they become victims of corruption themselves. Your core social values have been eroded. Everybody does what they want because there are no consequences in this country. So good people become bad. And the criminals find it easy to settle in. This is where we are. And there doesn't appear to be anybody who's looking at Nigeria and saying, what will this country be in 10 years' time? If we continue on this trajectory, what would our children be like in the next 10 to 15 years? Would they have a country to live in? And the tragedy is that everybody's a victim. Nobody, no group, no section, no interest will escape the consequences of what is happening in this country now. And yet we have a leadership now that is saying, we're on top of the situation. Even if we're on top of it, be patient, we'll be on top of this. 3 years ago, we elected a president who was supposed to have been intelligent, a schemer, somebody who has been in the corridors of power or who has President Tinubu. And I just thought, now we'll see a difference. President Buhari just sat there for 8 years, never really governed, didn't assign responsibilities, never monitored how it was doing. Things got worse. Poverty levels got worse, insecurity levels got worse. We thought Tinubu would fix this country. He hasn't. And it doesn't look like he will. And now they're asking for another 4 years. And so what are they going to do different from what they've done in the past? They haven't told us. And yet they're asking Nigerians to trust them. Why should Nigerians trust anybody? And this is the most destructive question you can ask. No politician has given us a single reason to trust them. You have an opposition that is yet to tell us what they will do if they get power from President. Just tell us, you are ADC or PDP or whatever. If you trust us with power, we would do this and this and that. You can hold us against it. We will do this. Practical solutions that are based on knowledge and understanding and analysis. To fix Nigeria, you need to do this and do this and this. And it will begin by us. It will begin by us.
Now, what baffles most Nigerians, including myself, when northern leaders, the elites of the north, elected and non-elected, even social-cultural leaders, when they talk about, politics and all of that, the common strand is identity politics. It's the turn of the north. The north will not accept if there is no northerner, if there is no Muslim, if there is no this. But sir, like I said, data, hard, irrefutable data. The leaders of Nigeria, expressed at the top level, 65% of them have been from the north. So the question is, are the northern elites, because I just don't want to say governors, but northern elites, are they actually focused on, eradicating poverty, taking children to school, fixing maternal infant mortality rates? Because whether we like it or not, these are the soft issues that have created this monster. So are northern leaders actually paying attention to this particular issue, solving this problem holistically from the root side?
Well, sometimes we use this word elites rather loosely.
Because you're one of them, sir.
Yes, no. But I accept your definition of northern elite. My only issue with it, you have northern elite that are in charge of power and authority. You have other elite people like me who mostly remain on the margins, and sometimes we criticize, sometimes we say this is the way to go. The damage that has been done to the quality of leaders in the North between the 70s and 80s is immense. State creation has fractured the solid qualitative leadership in the North beyond any other region. The North is big, massively productive. 95% of Northerners just don't want anything. I mean, just leave us alone. We do our farming. We don't want anything from the state. They want their children to go to school. They want their infants not to die in infancy. But basically, Northerners are hardworking, honest people. When you see them become like this, and their leaders appear to just run away from the problems rather than stay and solve the problem, you ask yourself, what happened? What happened to the legacy of these your great rulers that were murdered in 1966, and some of your military people who did very well? What happened? How come the North has no leadership? Geopolitical engineering has damaged them. One region now has 19 states. People don't understand the implications of that. One region now has 19 states, each one with 3 tiers of 3 arms of government. The cost of governance alone is enough to deprive these states of money to develop people. 2, the kind of people, the military bequeathed leadership, a democratic process that just literally has, that lacked quality and gravitas, same as other parts of the country. But when you have a combination of poverty that is developing and growing, and a leadership that is incapable of understanding what to do about that poverty, you have what you now see as persistent and guaranteed decline. You asked a question about identity. Identity is Nigeria. Every group has identity issues. Every group. And this we and them is a Nigerian thing. It's not a northern thing. And the Northerners have been identified as saying, "Oh, we and our own." It's not just Northerners. It's what defines our politics. Unfortunately, it defines it sometimes negatively. And we always tend to think if one of our own is in power, we are going to be better off. I think there's enough evidence on the ground now to show us that we're wasting our time.
Absolutely.
And we do talk to people. We say, listen, just because you have one of your own doesn't mean your group or your ethnic group, your faith, or where you come from is necessarily going to be better. 2 days ago, I was in a meeting with some very prominent persons from the southeast of the country. And during lunch, I reminded one of them who was saying, "Oh, you Northerners, everything is about you. You don't criticize your own people. You like it." And I reminded him, in 2009, the group of which I was a spokesman, Northern Elders Forum, engineered a collaboration here in Abuja with Fenifere, Pandef, and Ohaneze, Ndibo, another group. And we held a press conference here in Abuja, and we told Nigerians, don't trust President Buhari with another 4 years. If you give this man another 4 years, after the mess he has made up of the first 4 years, this country will be almost irretrievable. Openly and loudly, we said so. And we led this movement. So when people accuse, the North, they always want power, they don't want to yield power, the North wants what is its. In fairness, we demand what is fair. We're not blind to the fact that we're just like other Nigerians too. Give us a chance and we will either mess you up. Exactly. The same way that you will mess me up if I give you a chance. We share a lot more in common when it comes to the bad things. It's when it comes to the good things that you now begin to identify who else is thinking of this country and who is just thinking about his tribe. And this is the problem that we have. And in this 1 year, you would see all these things come to play. Would people line up behind a candidate because he represents the best hope for this country to survive? Or would I line up behind someone just simply because he comes from that side? And you will see it across the whole country. And this is one of our greatest failings in this country. It's failure to recognize quality wherever it comes from and to say, look, my child will go to school if he is the president or the governor. My child will not go to school if this one who speaks my language and worships the God I worship will not go. It's a big challenge. If this country survives this 1 year, survives this election they are playing, and hopefully by 2027, we have a leadership that will think of this country for a change, involving all Nigerians. Maybe then we can begin the...
So guys, let me quickly show you some of the reactions coming from Nigerians as Tinubu grants 117 terrorist members amnesty. Nigerians have been wondering on what basis is Tinubu doing this. you know. This person here said, these people signed death agreement with blood in this jihad cause. Nothing can bring them back. They swore their lives to it because this is the religion they practice. As long as they still practice the religion, you cannot take away that from them. Foolish government. Another person here said, Nigeria, my country. This person said, you cannot reasonably expect a government that appears to take directive from Iran and Iraq to effectively crack down on or punish terrorists. Sheikh Gumi often comes across as a de facto spokesman for terrorist groups and bandits in Nigeria, and it will not be surprising if he is soon rewarded with an ambassadorial appointment by Tinubu. The appointment at APC administration is systematically destroying virtually every aspect of Nigeria's progress and stability. And this other person here said, I'm going to take you through more reactions coming from Nigerians. This person here said, to whom it may concern, just in case you are not aware, surely the best way to fight terrorism is to rebrand it. Why waste taxpayers' money on trial and prison when you can simply upgrade it to repentant citizens and send them back into the white like a white light conservative court care, evidence care, due process care? Those are too old-fashioned. This is the innovation era of using roasted corn to eat insurgents. Now, this other person here said, the Canadian government, when she said APC and APC government was a terrorist organization, they were not wrong. And this person said, what's the sense behind this repentant program? These people killed, maim, kidnap, and conduct mass murder of Nigerians. And the government is so daft to think they are now new people. There is nothing to deter intending terrorists, since they can always claim claim repentance and get free ride. This is so sad. And this other person, the APC are the founder of Boko Haram. They use it to chase good luck out of power. All these terrorists work for the party, and they are doing their agreement by releasing them whenever they are caught. So guys, these are reactions from Nigerians. This person here say, this is understandably frustrating. Releasing 117 alleged terrorists without prosecuting raises serious concern about justice and public safety. It's important to question such decision, but also to separate verified facts from political accusation. If true, Nigeria deserves full transparency from government on how this program works and what safeguards are in place. And this other person here said, these are the same people who have been killing Nigerians for over a decade, and if you have truly repented, let them face the law. If not, why are we gambling with citizens' life? I don't get someone should educate me. So guys, these are reactions from Nigerians as Tinubu releases 117. This person said, yeah, Nnamdi Kanu was jailed for nothing. Igbos are just too quiet in this country. Gumi has done more harm in this nation than Kanu, yet he's moving freely. That's because the government knows if they touch him, they will make his regime unbearable and ungovernable. And I think this is really it, honestly. And this person here said, we, the entire Southeast, shouldn't take this politely. We enforce our security personnel, ESN, Udokachi, Agune Chamber, and all community vigilantes to be battle ready. Safe defense is not excluded too. You try nonsense by straight. Tinubu is weak president. This would not have happened under Jonathan. Tinubu is the weakest president so far. So guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.